This is Wayne Gretzky, and he is the greatest NHL player of all time, but there is one problem. He does not have any teammates. Well, technically he does have teammates, but none of them are any good. That's right, Wayne Gretzky is surrounded by plumbers and garbage men. What the challenge is for today's video is that we have 10 years to win Wayne Gretzky a Stanley Cup with the Edmonton Oilers. Now you may ask yourself, how on earth are we going to do that when he's surrounded by absolute bums? We are going to be using the wheel. That's right, the wheel is going to make its return, and we are going to spin it after every season that we do not win the Stanley Cup and see what we get, good or bad, and that is either going to help us or hurt us in winning a Stanley Cup with the Edmonton Oilers with Wayne Gretzky. We have 10 years to do so. If we do not win at least one, we have failed the challenge. If you guys enjoy videos like this, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I post pretty much every second day. Alright, now let's get into the video. So at the end of year number 1, the Edmonton Oilers are actually going to make the playoffs. They would finish 3rd in the Pacific, going 40, 32, and 10. That was good enough for all the way down here. Where were we at? Oh my god, we were 14th in the entire NHL. Wayne Gretzky is absolutely going to light the league on fire, scoring 73 goals and 145 points, followed by Yamamoto's 80, Foegele 62, Joe Thornton had 50, Bukestad 46. Gretzky would obviously have the most goals with 73 and the most points with 145 in the entire NHL, followed by Nathan MacKinnon's 103, Johnny Hockey 103, Brad Marchand 95, Leon Draisaitl 95, William Nylander 94, Pasta had 93, Tkachuk 93, and Kyle Connor 92. For goals, other than Gretzky, it was Patrick Laine who had 52, Auston Matthews had 50, Voracek 47, Marchand 44, Alex Ovechkin had 43, Evander Kane had 43, and Mikko Rantanen would have 42. And the Edmonton Oilers are going to be playing the Vancouver Canucks in round number 1. Somehow the Oilers are actually going to make it all the way to the conference finals. We would end up losing though to the eventual Stanley Cup winning Colorado Avalanche. They went on to beat the Devils in 7 games in the Stanley Cup final. For the playoffs, Wayne Gretzky would have 14 goals and 27 points. Nick Bukestad would have 16, Foegele 16, Joe Thornton had 14, and Janmark had 14. Wayne Gretzky is literally the greatest player of all time. Victor Hedman is going to take home the Norris. Nathan MacKinnon would take home the Conn Smythe, and Tristan Jarry would win the Vezina. Alright, since we lost in the conference finals, let's spin the wheel and see what we get here. And we are going to be adding Auston Matthews to the Edmonton Oilers. And just like that, Auston Matthews is the newest member of the Edmonton Oilers. He is a 94 overall, and he's a perfect winger to put on the first line with Wayne Gretzky, who is a 97. So after adding Auston Matthews to the Edmonton Oilers, they are somehow going to miss the playoffs this season. They would finish 5th in the Pacific, going 39, 35, and 8. Wayne Gretzky is yet again going to light the league on fire, 67 goals and 148 points, followed by Auston Matthews, who had 104, also 49 goals. Yamamoto had 63, Joe Thornton 55, Darnell Nurse had 41, Warren Foegele 40. Taking a look at the entire NHL, Wayne Gretzky had the most goals at 67 and the most points with 148, followed by Alex Ovechkin, who had 107, Johnny Hockey 107, Auston Matthews 104, Elias Pettersson 102, the GOAT Nathan MacKinnon had 99, Panarin 99, Jason Robertson 95, and Patrick Kane 94. For goals besides Gretzky, it was Alex Ovechkin at 54, Nathan MacKinnon 53, Svechnikov 49, and Auston Matthews 49. And the Tampa Bay Lightning would go on to win the Stanley Cup as they beat Calgary in 6 games in the Stanley Cup final. Wayne Gretzky would take home the Ted Lindsay, the Maurice Richard, the Art Ross, and the Hart Trophy. Dougie Hamilton is going to take home the Norris. Nikita Kucherov is going to win the Conn Smythe. Vasi would win the Vezina, and Sidney Crosby is going to take home the Selke. Alright, so we did not even make the playoffs last season. Alright, let's spin the wheel yet again. Here we go. Please, for the love of God, give me something good. And just like that, we're going to be adding the best player in the entire NHL, Connor McDavid, to the Edmonton Oilers to team up with Wayne Gretzky. So we have added Connor McDavid to the Edmonton Oilers. He's a 97 overall on that first line with Wayne Gretzky and Auston Matthews, who's a 94. So we definitely have the best first line in the entire NHL, but unfortunately, I don't think the rest of the roster is good enough to win a Stanley Cup. But I mean, a 97, 97, and 94 on the first line. At the end of year number 3, the Edmonton Oilers Oilers are going to finish third in the Pacific with a 42, 29, and 11 record. We would end up finishing 13th in the entire NHL. Wayne Gretzky is going to absolutely dominate yet again, 63 goals and 154 points, followed by Connor McDavid, who had 119 and 51 goals. Matthews had 116 and 45 goals. Bukestad had 51, Yamamoto 45, Fogle 44, and Darnell Nurse 44. Gretzky is yet again going to have the most goals at 63 and the most points with 154 in the entire NHL, followed by Connor McDavid, Austin Matthews, Nathan MacKinnon, who had 114, Kaprizov 102, Zuccarello had 97, Pettersson 95, and Artemi Panarin 94. For goals other than Gretzky, it was Nathan MacKinnon, who had 57, Connor McDavid 51, Ovi 48, and Matthews 45. Kaprizov, Tage Thompson, Rantanen, and Malkin would all be up there as well. And the Oilers are going to play the Anaheim Ducks in round number 1. We would end up losing in the second round to the Vegas Golden Knights in 6 games, and they would go on to win the Stanley Cup as they beat the Capitals in 7 games in the Stanley Cup final. For the playoffs, Connor McDavid would have the most points on our team with 20, followed by Wayne Gretzky 17, also 11 goals. Austin Matthews had 17, Yamamoto 9. Wayne Gretzky is going to take home the Selke, the Ted Lindsay, the Maurice Richard, the Art Ross, and the Hart Trophy. I mean, he's the greatest of all time for a reason, right? Somehow Seth Jones is actually going to take home the Norris. Jack Eichel is going to win the Conn Smythe, and Tristan Jarry is going to win the Vezina yet again. Alright, let's spin the wheel yet again and see what we get here. And just like that, we are going to add the best defenseman in the entire NHL, which is Cale Makar at a 96 overall, I believe. And there we go. We have added the best defenseman in the NHL, which is Cale Makar. He's actually a 94, not a 96. At the end of the season, the Edmonton Oilers are going to end up finishing second in the Pacific with a record of 45, 29, and 8. The only team better than us in the Pacific was the LA Kings. We would end up finishing 7th in the entire NHL. Gretzky is yet again going to have a great year, 58 goals and 127 points. Followed by Austin Matthews, who had 108, also 38 goals. Connor McDavid, 104, 34 goals. Cale Makar has 74, Fogle, 40, Joe Thornton, 35, and Janmark, 33. For the entire NHL, Wayne Gretzky would have the most points, followed by Leon Draisaitl's 116, Jason Robertson, 112, Nikita Kucherov, 110, Matthews, 108, Braden Point, 107, McDavid, 104, and Nathan MacKinnon, 102. For goals, Nikita Kucherov is actually going to have the most at 59, followed by Wayne Gretzky's 58, Leon Draisaitl 52, Jason Robertson 51, Nathan MacKinnon 47, Patrick Laine 44, and Evgeny Malkin 44. Wait a minute, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, who's on the LA Kings, is going to score 42 goals. And we have the Battle of Alberta in round number 1 between the Edmonton Oilers and the Calgary Flames. The Oilers would end up making it all the way to the conference finals yet again, but we are going to lose to Dallas in 6 games. That is tough. And the Florida Panthers are going to go on to beat Dallas in 6 games in the Stanley Cup final. For the playoffs, Austin Matthews is going to lead us in goals and points, followed by Wayne Gretzky, who had 24, Connor McDavid had 24, Cale Makar 18, and Joe Thornton 11. Gretzky is going to take home the Ted Lindsay, the Art Ross, and the Hart Trophy, while Nikita Kucherov, he's going to take home the Maurice Richard. Adam Fox is going to take home the Norris. Leon Draisaitl is going to win the Conn Smythe for the Florida Panthers. Sergei Bobrovsky is going to win the Vezina, and Sidney Crosby is going to take home the Selke. Alright, let's spin the wheel yet again, see what we get here. And we are going to be adding a number 1 overall pick to the Edmonton Oilers, anybody of my choosing. And you already knew I had to add the GOAT, Nathan MacKinnon. He's a 95 overall. He was selected 1st overall back in 2013. And he is probably the highest rated number 1 overall pick that is not on our team, considering we have Gretzky. Well, Gretzky was undrafted, but we have Connor McDavid and Austin Matthews, so he's probably the next highest overall. The Edmonton Oilers are going to end up finishing 1st in the Pacific, going 49, 28, and 5. And we would end up finishing 5th in the entire NHL. The only teams that finished above us were the Toronto Maple Leafs, the Winnipeg Jets, the Boston Bruins, and the Ottawa Senators. Wayne Gretzky will have 48 goals and 123 points, followed by Connor McDavid's 116, Austin Matthews 101, Nathan MacKinnon 85, Cale Makar 60, Yamamoto 44, and Warren Fogle 36. For goals, Gretzky had the most on our team with 48, followed by Matthews 46, MacKinnon 38, and McDavid 35. Gretzky is going to have the most points in the NHL with 123. 123, followed by McDavid's 116, Leon Draisaitl 104, Austin Matthews 101, Alex DeBrincat 97, Timmy Stu 97. For goals, Ovi had the most at 50, followed by Gretzky's 48, Draisaitl's 47, Matthews at 46, Crosby 45, Patrick Kane 44, and Alex DeBrincat 44. And the Oilers are going to play the Vancouver Canucks in round number 1. And somehow we were actually going to lose in the very first round to the Canucks in 6 games. And the New York Rangers are going to go on to win the Stanley Cup as they beat the Seattle Kraken in 7 games in the Stanley Cup final. For the entire playoffs, Patrick Kane is going to have the most goals at 19 and the most points at 33, followed by Adam Fox's 30, Wenberg 29, Borkstrand 28, Panarin 26, and Zibanejad 24. Wayne Gretzky will yet again take home the Ted Lindsay, the Art Ross, and the Hart Trophy, while Ovechkin, he's going to take home the Maurice Richard. Adam Fox is going to take home the Norris. Patrick Kane is going to win the Conn Smythe. Linus Ullmark is going to win the Vezina, and Bergeron is going to take home the Selke. Alright, let's spin the wheel yet again and see what we get here. Please, for the love of God, give me something good. And we are going to be able to steal a team's best player, any team in the entire NHL of my choosing. And we are going to steal Connor Hellebuck at a 91 overall, the Winnipeg Jets' best player, because we really needed a goalie desperately. I mean, our starting goalie was Jack Campbell at an 83 overall, and now it's a 91 Connor Hellebuck. So at the end of year number 6, the Edmonton Oilers are going to have their best regular season yet, going 54, 19, and 9, good enough for first in the Pacific. And we were the best team in the entire NHL, above the Colorado Avalanche, the Boston Bruins, and the Carolina Hurricanes, and pretty much everybody else. Gretzky is going to lead our team in points with 128, followed by McDavid's 121, Matthews 112, Nathan MacKinnon had 87, Cale Makar 62, Janmark 42, Yamamoto 38. For goals, Gretzky would have the most at 49, followed by McDavid's 48, Matthews 44, Nathan MacKinnon 38, and Costin 17. Connor Hellebuck will go 36, 17, and 5, having 3 shutouts, a 909 save percentage, and a 267 goals against average. Wayne Gretzky is going to have the most points in the entire NHL, followed by Connor McDavid, Austin Matthews, Kyle Connor had 105, Bergeron would have 104, Kucherov 99, Crosby 99, Dylan Larkin 97. For goals, Kucherov had the most yet again, this time with 57, followed by Patrick Kane's 56, Jack Eichel had 50, Gretzky would have 49, McDavid 48, Bergeron 47, Ovi 46. And the Edmonton Oilers are going to play the Winnipeg Jets in round number 1, and Winnipeg would end up beating us in 7 games in the very first round, and the New York Islanders are going to go on to win the Stanley Cup as they beat the Predators in 6 games in the Stanley Cup final. For the playoffs, Matthew Barzal would have the most points at 29, followed by Anders Lees 21, Bo Horvat 21, Marchand 20, David Krejci was up there, Philip Forsberg, Mark Scheifele. Gretzky's going to take home the Ted Lindsay, the Art Ross, and the Hart Trophy, while Nikita Kucherov, he's going to take home the Maurice Richard. Adam Fox is going to win the Norris. Matthew Barzal is going to take home the Conn Smythe. Alexander Georgiev is going to win the Vezina, and Bo Horvat is going to take home the Selke. Alright, here we go yet again. Let's spin the wheel and see what we get here. Please, for the love of God, give me something good. And we are going to be adding Matthew Barzal, the Conn Smythe winner, to the Edmonton Oilers. Alright, so we have added Matthew Barzal to the Edmonton Oilers. He's an 88 overall. And funny enough, I believe the Edmonton Oilers actually traded away the pick that was Matthew Barzal to the New York Islanders. I think it was for like Griffin Reinhart or somebody. We got absolutely fleeced, that's all I know. Matthew Barzal should have been an Edmonton Oiler, and now he finally is on that second line with Nathan MacKinnon at a 95. The Oilers are going to finish first in the Pacific yet again, having their best regular season yet, winning 56 games, and we would also end up finishing best in the entire NHL, above Minnesota and everybody else. Gretzky is going to have 53 goals and 117 points, followed by Matthews 111, McDavid 97, MacKinnon 96, Cale Makar had 79, Matthew Barzal had 22 goals and 66 points. For goals, Gretzky led our team yet again, this time with 53 goals, followed by Matthews 47, MacKinnon 37, and McDavid 35. Looking at the entire NHL, Gretzky's going to have the most points yet again. What can I say? It's every single year at this point. Followed by Matthews 111, Pasta had 102, Barkov 98, Bo Horvat 97, McDavid 97, and Patrick Kane 96. For goals, Kucherov and Gretzky were both tied with 53 apiece, followed by Patrick Kane's 50, Matthews 47, Pasta 47, and Patrick Laine 47. And the Edmonton Oilers, they are going to play the Vancouver Canucks in round number 1. Yet again, the Oilers would make it all the way to the conference finals, but we are going to lose to Colorado in 6 games, and they are going to go on to win the Stanley Cup as they beat Ottawa in 7 games in the Stanley Cup final. For the playoffs, Gretzky led her team in points with 22, followed by McKinnon's 20, Makar had 20, McDavid had 19, Matthews 19, and Matthew Barzal would have 14. Gretzky is going to take home the Ted Lindsay, the Maurice Richard, the Art Ross, and the Hart Trophy. Adam Fox with another Norris Trophy. Mikko Rantanen is going to take home the Conn Smythe. Freddie Anderson is going to win the Vezina, and Bo Horvat is going to take home the Selke. All right, let's do it again. Here we go. Spin the wheel, see what we get. And we are going to be adding an NHL bust to the Edmonton Oilers and making them a 90 overall. All right, so we have added Alexis Lafreniere to the Edmonton Oilers, and he is a 90 overall. I'm sorry, buddy, but you are a bust in my book so far. I mean, in real life, he's only 21 years old, so he has tons of room to grow. But for now, you are a bust, and now you're 90 overall, so you're on the Edmonton Oilers, and you're one of the better players. The Edmonton Oilers, yet again, are going to finish first in the Pacific, going 54, 19, and 9. We would end up finishing third in the entire NHL, only below the Carolina Hurricanes and the New York Rangers. Connor McDavid would lead our team in points with 119, followed by Wayne Gretzky's 109, Austin Matthews 108, Nathan MacKinnon 95, Matthew Barzal 65. For goals, Gretzky led the way with 49, followed by McDavid's 45, Matthews 40, MacKinnon 31, and Lafreniere 28. Taking a look at the entire NHL, Connor McDavid had the most points, followed by Leon Draisaitl, who had 117, Marty Necas had 115, Panarin had 114, Marchand 110, Gretzky 109, Matthews 108. For goals, Marchand had the most at 53, followed by Gretzky's 49, Ovi had 45, McDavid had 45, Kucherov 45, Pasta would have 44, and Svechnikov 43. And the Oilers are yet again going to play the Vancouver Canucks in round number 1. And finally, the Edmonton Oilers have made the Stanley Cup final. We are up against the New York Rangers. Can we finally take home the Stanley Cup? And the Edmonton Oilers have finally won the Stanley Cup after 8 long seasons with Wayne Gretzky and a bunch of bums. We have used the wheel to rebuild the Edmonton Oilers into a Stanley Cup winner. We are finally here. I am so goddamn happy. The GOAT, Nathan MacKinnon, is going to take home the Conn Smythe for the Edmonton Oilers. I mean, he is the greatest player of all time for a damn reason. Man, I did not see it take this long to win a goddamn Stanley Cup, but we have done it 8 long years, and we are finally here. And here comes the captain, Wayne Gretzky, coming to lift the Stanley Cup for the 5th time in his career, the first with the Edmonton Oilers in the 2020s, and 8 long years it has taken us. Finally bring a Stanley Cup to Wayne Gretzky, the greatest player of all time, and he's gonna pass it off to Connor McDavid, baby, lifting the Stanley Cup for the very first time in his career. Of course, we had to give it over to Nathan MacKinnon. This dude is absolutely huge in the simulations. He's an absolute GOAT. He definitely deserves this, deserve the Conn Smythe, that's for damn sure, and he has helped the Edmonton Oilers win a Stanley Cup in NHL 23, and the challenge is complete. We have won a Stanley Cup with the Edmonton Oilers using the wheel. We only had 10 years to do so, and we got it done in 8, baby. There it is. Yes, sir. This was by far one of the most fun videos I've ever made, and we finally done it. The Edmonton Oilers are Stanley Cup champions. Nathan MacKinnon definitely deserved the Conn Smythe. He had 13 goals and 35 points in 27 playoff games, followed by Wayne Gretzky's 34, also 18 goals. Matthews had 33, McDavid 27, Makar 26, and we cannot forget about Alexis Lafreniere. He had 13 goals and 20 points in 27 playoff games. Connor McDavid is going to take home the Ted Lindsay, the Art Ross, and the Hart Trophy, while Brad Marchand, he's going to take home the Maurice Richard. Adam Fox is the greatest defenseman of all time, obviously the Conn Smythe to MacKinnon, and Sidney Crosby is going to take home the Selke. And that is going to do it for this video, boys. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I post pretty much every second day. Let me know in the comments what you would like to see on the wheel. And fun fact, I actually recorded like 3 hours worth of this video just to find out that my mic was muted the entire time, so I had to restart. It was actually so painful, but we have got it done. Wayne Gretzky is a Stanley Cup champion yet again. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, don't be silly. Wrap your willy.